Well, hello everyone, and welcome. I'm Mayor Mary O'Connor. I'd like to welcome you to Monona's Juneteenth celebration. If you don't know, Juneteenth stands for June 19th, which commemorates the day that federal troops entered Galveston, Texas in 1865 to tell everyone that the Civil War was over. It had actually ended a few months earlier, and that the enslaved Americans there were free. And that's actually something that had Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, which was issued on January 1st, 1863, freed all the slaves in Confederate territories. But of course, the federal government didn't control those federal territories, or the Confederate territories at that time. So ever since then, the Black American community has celebrated Juneteenth for generations now. And yesterday, you've probably heard that President Biden signed a bill into law making Juneteenth a federal holiday. So now everyone will celebrate it. Before I turn this over, the mic over to Toya, I just was asked to announce that tomorrow the library is having a Juneteenth story time beginning at 10:30, and it's going to be what they call on the green outside, right over here in front of the Schluter entrance. So everyone is welcome. It's featuring Lisa Berry. And now we're in for a special treat. I'd like to introduce Monona's court clerk, Toya Harrow, who is going to tell us a little bit about the Black National Anthem and sing a verse or two for us. So, Toya? Thank
you. Good afternoon, everyone. The name of the song that I'm singing is actually called Lift Every Voice, and it was written as a poem in the 1900s by James Weldon Johnson. And he wrote it in commemoration for Lincoln's birthday. And 5 years later, his brother actually composed music to it, and it was sung at Lincoln's birthday celebration as well. And the song kind of tells of our history and where we've come and what we still have yet to accomplish. In 1935, the NAACP coined it as the Negro National Anthem. And since we didn't like being called Negroes, we changed it to the Black National Anthem. So it's now coined as the Black National Anthem. So this song is like over 100 years old. So I will sing a verse or two. How many, Mary? Two? I know all three. I can sing all three. Okay, now you made me nervous. Okay. Okay, I can do all three. I hope you don't mind in the sun and stuff, but lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days where hope unborn had died, yet with the steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our Father sighed. We have come over a way that with tears have been watered. We have come treading the path through the blood of the slaughtered, out from the gloomy past till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light. Keep us forever in thy path, we pray, lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee, lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadow beneath thy hand, may we forever stand true to our God, true to our native land.
That lady does not need a mic. Good, anyways. All right, so we're going to go for our little walk. It's a short walk, and most of it's in the shade. We're going to go around Winnequa School, and we'll cut through the path around the skate park and back, and then people can make remarks here. And I know someone brought a cooler of water if anyone would like water. Thank you. Thank you, Victoria.
I will lead the way and then we'll covering up the rear guard. We can't let her go.
Hey, honey pie.
So she doing like that?
Feeling the heat.
And we've done multiple.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Well, hello. Welcome back. I think we have everyone. We didn't lose anyone on the way. So, yes, round of applause for making it around and for demonstrating the importance of recognizing this moment in history. And as some of the signs around here say, I'll also agree to and say out loud that this is American history, not just Black history. And so I think it's very important that we all take pause and recognize what is such a pivotal and critical moment in history, and that there's more work to do. And as I'm standing here as Chief of Police, I'd be remiss in not recognizing the role that law enforcement and government has played in the suppression of people and infringement of rights. And there are many of us in this profession, all of us at Monona PD in particular, who are trying to do right and are trying to right the wrongs of history, and to do so every day. And it will take work. And as many of you have heard from me, I ask for your wonderful patience, but we are getting work done. And so all of us in city government, I think, are proud to recognize the work that's being done by all of us staff here, and welcome this input from the community that we've received. And it's great to march together for events like this that recognize such a great and important moment in history. But we shouldn't just celebrate and be done. There's a lot more work to do. And I, as you all know, have my hands full as well of some of the very important work that needs to be done. And we are getting done. So I just want to acknowledge the fact that, my 3 weeks here as police chief, I thank you all for the warm welcome. I thank you all for the ideas that have poured in to me. And I like to thank my staff too. You have an amazing group of sworn and non-sworn members of the police department who are working hard every day to make sure that they provide high quality of service to you. And now they have somebody who is celebrating them and celebrating you and making sure that we do this together. So now I won't talk forever, which I can do, I think many of you know, and we're all hot. So I'd like to offer the microphone to anybody else who would like to make comment or speak today. There's got to be somebody. We're not all shy.
I'll say it.
Okay,
I
Alder.
have a few words, but I'm hoping other people step up. I just want to, I'll start with Anin Kinagwaya, a warm Ojibwe welcome. And I just want to thank you all for coming out today, and a special thank you to the amazing Toya Harrell, who just, wow. If you weren't moved by her singing, I might have to come over and do a pulse check, right? That was really something. So thank you so much, and thank you for spurring this idea of this event as well. I just want to, there are few things that we as Americans hold as dear as our freedom, right? And to think of having your freedom taken away simply by the body you are born into, it's really unfathomable to most of us, I would think. And coming here today to celebrate the freedom of all Americans, it's what our country was meant to be. We've all been reciting for liberty and justice for all since we were children, right? And I know we've got a lot of work to do, as Chief Austin said. And I know our Black sisters and brothers are tired and they're exhausted. But please look around. You've got allies here. We're here to support and help and move things forward as well. And I wish you all your lives be filled with hope, and that hope shines the light of the path for all of those that walk forward from here today. So thank you all for being here.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mary. I'm an educator. One of the reasons why I was able to be here at 1 o'clock on a Friday. And I'd like to share some of my personal thoughts, but first I definitely want to thank all of the organizers and the wonderful artists who began our event today for taking the time to make this happen so we all could sort of get together and share our excitement about Juneteenth becoming a national federal holiday. Yes, well overdue, an important thing. And if you'll allow me, as an educator, I've been really surprised that at the same time that Juneteenth has finally become a federal holiday, we have a lot of our legislators and our senators and other politicians trying to get the honest and strict and thoughtful and meaningful discussions and factual discussions about race out of history classrooms from K through higher education. But when you ask them, well, what is it that you object to? And they say critical race theory, and you say, what is critical race theory? And they don't know. That's the moment where the teacher in me starts thinking, well, if you haven't done the reading, you really should be quiet and listen. And I hope that more of our politicians will do the reading, will learn about the American history, and learn to understand that, for one thing, critical race theory, one of its founders, Kimberly Crenshaw, has a connection to UW-Madison. Look it up. Learn about those connections. And certainly learn that history, because Black history is American history. Latinx history is American history. Indigenous peoples' history is American history. And as Americans, we need to know our history. Thank you.
Hi there, my name is Catherine, and I'm also an educator in higher education. And I just retired, and I'm looking forward to doing the kinds of thinking that critical race studies has done in the classroom and bringing it to Monona, because I think there's a lot of things that we need to, as a community, think about in a predominantly white community like this, about our own role in perpetuating unknowingly, unconsciously, some of the things that might make it hard on marginalized folks. And so I look forward to this next year, to this next 5 years, to the next 10 years, being a place of shifting. We have had a year of racial reckoning. We all know the work in front of us. And I think it would be a really amazing thing if we just looked around in our lives, looked around in our friendship circles, looked around in our workplaces, and stood up and said, maybe the way we've been doing things is not necessarily the way that's going to get us to the world that we want. Sometimes the change that we want out here, right, and the changes we demand out here really need to start in here. I mean, everybody wants change, right? Not many of us want to change. And that piece is something that I hope that we can reflect on in Monona. Thank you.
I hadn't planned to make any comments, but I'm Susan Fox. I'm on the Monona Grove School Board, and I am really happy to see this. And we have, for a long time, had a commitment to equity, but we've really renewed it. It's been our main focus for the last couple of years, and I'm really proud of what the school district has done in reaching out with various groups, significantly changing our hiring policies, changing our language. We just went in our teacher competency lists, which we've redeveloped, along with our administrative competency lists, to not just using the word equity, but using the term anti-racist in terms of who we hire, that we want people who are committed to being anti-racist as well, which is, it's just a different focus. We've done book studies over many years, but we've really focused our professional development in the last couple of years. One of the changes we've made, just as an example, is the elimination of honors courses at the high school. We're still going to have AP classes, but the idea of eliminating honors courses was not to bring anything down, it was to raise the floor for everyone and to create more rigor for all students. We felt like it was dividing students too much to have so many kids just channeled into honors early on. And the idea is to increase the numbers of students who are able to participate and want to participate in our AP classes. So that's one very significant kind of curricular change, and I'm hoping there'll be many others. But I just wanted to make people aware that we are really actively committed and involved, and always appreciate support from the community as well. So thank you.
Well, on behalf of everybody, again, thank you, and thank you, Lieutenant Weigel and Chief Cheney Austin. He's split, but thank you for helping organize and being out here and watching out for us. So, thanks everybody for coming.